bad news I've got to bring to you is that we didn't get much further in the FA Cup. Leicester ended up being our opponents, but we did put in a good showing. The good news is, though, although we are having the occasional bad game, we're still having more good games than bad, and we currently find ourselves 4th, and very much confirmed to be completely out of any risk of relegation. So, I would call this season a success. We've still got 10 games to go, I think, something like that. And yet, the season is already a success, so anything we do from here is a Brucey bonus. How are you doing, everybody, and welcome to part 17 of Club 2 of my career here on FM23. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we've got games against Preston North End and Huddersfield coming up in the Championship. And if you're excited to see how we get on in those two games, then don't forget to leave a like on the video for me, and then subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager nonsense that comes out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, it's been good. We are still doing the job that we need to do to confirm that this has been a ridiculous season. It really has been. We are still in the playoff places. We have had ropey times. There's a motorbike going past my house. I'm very apologies for that. The last time we saw you guys, it was in January, wasn't it? And it was around the FA Cup game. So, in around here. So, mixed fortunes for the rest of January. Like I said, Leicester, very unlucky to go out. Maximiliano Gomez putting us out of the FA Cup. We were leading that game from the 39th minute to the 67th minute. So, very heartbreaking. And then, again, we're balancing things. We're losing the same amount of games as we're drawing, and the same amount of games as we're winning. So, it's going okay. January was a good month, though. We won more than we drew or lost. This month, we've not won as many games, but we've certainly not lost more games. So, it's been fine. The balance has been okay. It's maintained us in this 4th position. Amari Benjamin has been on fire for us, but he is currently injured. He's just about back, but he has been injured for the last few games. But if we look at his form, my word, I mean, 4 goals in that game against Barnsley. 4! Utterly insane. He's been superb. He had this run where it was every now and then he'd have a game where he didn't score, but the majority of them he's belting them in, looking like an absolute superstar, to the point where I'm a bit afraid we might struggle to keep him next season. But it's almost come in and offer me between 5 and 10 million, and that's ambitious. But if they did want that, I wouldn't be against it. It's taken a little while for Zach Emerson to start scoring, but he has recently just started scoring. But Amari Benjamin, by far and away, the best player in the Championship at the moment. Tommy Doyle as well on the list for assists, which is good. Speaking of which, transfers. We did make a couple. Now, I'm trying to remember whether you were around for these transfers or not. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think you were. Marcus Dewhurst. I don't know if this had been confirmed. I don't think it has. But he's our backup goalkeeper. We've still got the guy we loaned in. He's our 3rd choice. But Marcus Dewhurst has come in. Didn't cost us much. He's agreed to be a backup. Happy days. Very happy with that. And then I signed a backup central defensive midfielder as a playmaker. Josh Benson. Formerly of Barnsley. Played plenty of games for them. He's come in. He hasn't played many games for us, but he's been alright. Solid enough is how I would say it. Solid enough. And then you might have seen on the previous screen, we've signed this guy. Matthias Acosta. He isn't a wonder kid or anything, but he's down to be a 5-star potential player. I thought it would be ridiculous not to sign him. Now, he's only 6 foot, and his heading's not the best, but it's fine. Fine. Oversight. His crossing's really good, though, so I'm actually looking at him thinking, he's only 18. If his pace goes up significantly, we might try and change him into a fullback, possibly. If not, we'll work with it. Either way, I think, for £900,000 potentially, £150,000 at the moment, I think we could sell him on for a bit of a bargain. I don't think that would be a bad thing at all. Quickly just pointing to the finances, though. Yeah, looking good. Now, I'm hoping by the end of the season, we'll sort this out with where we finish in the league. I really hope that we will, because at the moment, but it's fine. That's not our problem at the moment. We spent within our means, so that's all we can really do. But it is time for the next game against Preston, and this is going to be the 11 that we're going to be using for it. A couple of things I do need to note before we go into that 11. Hayden Coulson currently out injured. Jake O'Brien's had a little knock as well. And again, Amari Benjamin, he could technically play, but I'm not going to risk it. And also, Ben Hockenhull is thinking about whether he wants to stay at the club or not. We do have to deal with that. And, yeah, it's not ideal, really, if I'm honest. Zach Emerson has been on a bit of a ropey run of form. I did mention that previously. as you can see, this barren spell from the Nottingham Forest game, which is before the last time we were back, is the last time he'd scored, which is just not good enough. But he has scored in his last 2 games. So, fingers crossed that continues on. Ben Knight's been his usual inconsistent self, which is great. Jamie Shackleton has been pretty spectacular recently, but did get a red card not that long ago. Apaya Forson did as well. That's why they're not in the starting 11. They're part of the... In fact, Jamie Shackleton was injured, actually, so could come back in. But the other 2 did a good job, so actually, I'm going to leave it as it is. Apaya Forson did get sent off, though, so that's the reason why he's not in the team. Anyway, your 11 for the game is Bergstrom in goal, Lyons, Foster, Barnes, Pollock and Darboe in defence, Benson, McAllister, Robinson and Hanson Aaron in the midfield with Lee and Emerson up front. Tommy Lee has had another ropey run of form recently, so we really need him to step up his game and start showing why he is down as a good championship player. He is a very good championship player, but we need a bit more from him, and at the moment, we ain't getting it. I would quite like him to step up today and show me that I'm doing a bit of a silly by talking him down. That would be ideal. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen at all, but here we are. We're into the game. We are away from home. We are usually pretty good away from home, but every now and then, it does go a little bit wrong. Apologies for the pause. Other half has just come home after walking the dog. You didn't miss much on that highlight anyway. We missed it, so nothing to worry about. But yeah, it is still crazy to think that we've gone up from League 2 to League 1 and then League 1 to the Championship, and then we've had this season in the Championship. But I do think the back-to-back promotions will end this season. I don't think we're going to be going up. Even if we do maintain our current playoff position, I don't think we would go up. And I know I've said this all along. I don't want us to go up. I'm pretty much sure that I said it last season as well. And I said it in the season with Dartford when we get to the Football League. I don't want us to go up because the jump between this division and the next division is going to be ridiculous. We've overachieved this season. More than we've overachieved at any point in this save so far. I genuinely think that if we get promoted to the Premier League, we might go down with the lowest points total in Premier League history next season. Just all of the other teams who will be in the league will have such a better set of finances than we do. Darboe's injured, by the way, but it doesn't matter because Hanson Aaron has all of a sudden shown up with form. He's been terrible for a lot of the season with the occasional good goal. And this is the second game in a row he's scored, and he's looked alright as well. It is a ball from Lee that comes into the box. He doesn't really do anything, it gets deflected. Goes over everyone. Story heads it out, gets as far as the injured Darboe, who we do need to take off, who gets it into Hanson Aaron, and he puts it in the back of the net, and makes it 1-0 to us, which is becoming a bit of a trend this season, which I like to see. I'm going to leave Darboe till half-time. Well, no, we won't, because he's... Oh, God, I should have taken him off earlier. Right, Matt Penny's coming on. Coulson is actually not in the starting 11 or the substitutes at the moment, just because he's not been consistent enough recently, and also got an injury. I think he's picked up a knock as well, off the top of my head, but I was considering taking him out anyway, because he's just not been consistent enough, and that should be a corner. I'm just going to petition right now, before he's taken it over the line. I mean, I would argue he has absolutely taken it over the line. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I maintain it did. McAllister nearly getting on the end of that. Bearing in mind, he's playing as a box-to-box midfielder today. McAllister doing the work there to try and get on the end of it. Nearly did. Right, Davenport to O'Neill. We have tried to mark Davenport because we actually tried to sign him when we were in either League 2 or League 1. And he's a really good player, but I don't know about if he's a good player for this level. And I think Zach Emerson's offside there. Yeah, he is. That ain't going to count. It's going to be 1-0. I think it's going to be 1-0 at half-time. Let's have a look. Oh, God. It's not even him that's offside. It's 2 of them. Ugh. Ugh. That's awful. Anyway, 1-0 at half-time. That'll do. But I would like more, if I'm honest. I would like more. Looking at the performances, Ozzy Robinson not having a good game. He's been all right in that Mazzala position, actually. We've changed his personal position and roles and stuff. Instructions, that's the word I'm looking for. And he's been alright, but obviously today, not so much. We're just going to tell the strikers they need to step up their game a little bit. And we'll continue with the offside lines on the pitch. Because why the devil not? And let's see whether we can get a second goal just to make things a little bit easier. Lyons Foster manages to deal with that. Goes back to Bergstrom, who just hoofs it up the pitch, looking for someone. Doesn't find anyone. Hanson Aaron gets there. Emerson now. Looking for options. Lovely weighted ball through to Tommy Lee. And Tommy Lee, again, he's had a bit of a rough patch in terms of goal scoring. Goes and gets the second of the game. And that could be us on the way to another 3 points. And that would be delightful. And it's looking more and more like, We're going to be a playoff team, and I'm very excited for that. And it must be Motorcycle Sunday, because more motorcycles, or at least souped up cars, have gone past the house. Goodness me. Is there no respect in the world? I'm trying to play Football Manager. Goodness me. We're 2-0 up. That'll do. That'll definitely do. Right. Preston come again and try to see whether they can break the door down. I would like a clean sheet here. We've not been very good with the clean sheets recently. I think we got one in our last game. Or one of our last games. I would like another one today. Now I've put it into the universe, so that's what I want. The universe will turn around and go, it's not going to happen. Right, Lee goes down to Emerson. Emerson goes past his man beautifully. Tries to get into Hansen Aaron. Hansen Aaron going to try and hold it up maybe. All the way back to Penny. Penny now into Benson. Benson goes for the worldie. What a strike that is from Benson. I swear to God, when I signed him, he wasn't my first choice. He was probably my third choice. He's the only one we could afford. He's the only one who didn't want crazy wages. And when I signed him, I felt a little bit deflated, if I'm being honest. And then he goes and does that. Because of course he does. Because that's the player that we've just bought. That'll do. That'll do plenty. Yeah, 3-0. That'll do. That will do. But I'll take more. Penny floats in, looking for Lee. Lee just loops it over the bar. Not a good chance at all. I think Robinson is going to be the next player to come off. Possibly McAllister as well. We'll rest both of them. They're not having the best of games, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter because we are doing so well in the game. We have only got 4 substitutions left, though, so we do need to remember that. And I'm thinking Sam Barnes can come off as well. He's had a good game, but he's tired. He's been tired recently. We've just not been brave enough to rest him, so we'll rest him now. And we'll bring on Shackleton and the Appiah Force, and we'll give them some football together in the midfield, and then we'll save that final substitution for a little bit later on, around the 80th, 85th minute, to a burst of energy just towards the end of the game. We'll get Hockenhull some minutes as well, which is always good. Right, Benson with the corner, looking for Ben Hockenhull, and it would have been glorious to see Ben Hockenhull put that in the back of the net. I would have loved that. Josh Benson looks like he's picked up some form of knock, which is not ideal. So I think that is going to decide who the final substitution is going to be. Tommy Doyle will come on for the last little bit. Again, Tommy Doyle, he's been really good this season, but he has started to falter just towards the end of the season with the occasional good performance. But for the most part, he's been a bit flat. So it's good that Josh Benson has kind of showed up when he has. Tommy Doyle making the goalkeeper work for that save. Nearly sticking it top bins just to shut me up. He's going to have a corner now to try and shut me up again. Doyle looking to get this on the head of one of the defenders. Looking for someone. O'Connor heads it away though. But Appiah Forson wins it back. But Eden knocks it back. But Penny wins it again. Game of pinball there. What was the point of that? Highlight ends. Nothing happened. And I think that's going to be the game. But Benedetti has got a corner to try and get a goal back for Preston. Doesn't manage it though. But the highlight continues, so they might actually get a goal back. And that might make me really sad. If we can intercept that, though, well, we do, but we give it straight back to them, which is a bit disappointing. This has been one of the better performances I've seen of us in recent times. We haven't been the most fluid and functional unit. Oh, about to be really, really cross if we conceded that. But yeah, we've not been the most fluid and functional unit in recent times. We've had to scrape a few games. So it's nice to see a game like this where we've actually not just won the game. I mean, we have won the game, let's be honest. Not just won the game, but we've looked good doing it. And that isn't the most important thing, but to me, I kind of want us to look good while we're winning games. If we're going to win them, I want us to do it in some style. And Hansen Aaron, again, I know I've already mentioned it. I'm really happy that he has stepped up today. That's a clumsy challenge, but I don't think it's going to matter. It doesn't because it's offside, so it actually didn't matter anyway. That's the game. Why are we still playing the game, referee? Ref. Referee. I mean, if we can score a fourth, I won't care. What was the point of that highlight? We win 3-0. Job done. Very good performance. Good to see the performances out there. No one stood out, but 90% of the team played well. And that is the most we can ask for. And that gives us a 4-point cushion between us and the teams outside of the playoff places. But Bristol City do have a game in hand. So they could be only 1 point behind us. And we are, say it quietly, 5 points off second place, automatic promotion to the Premier League. I don't want to. I'm putting that in the universe right now. I don't want to get promoted this season. This isn't even one of those, like, I don't want to, but oh, if we have to. No, I don't want to. It'll go horribly, horribly wrong. We'll get smashed, we'll get relegated, and I will want to leave because I will be really sad. So, let's not get promoted this season, lads. Let's hold on to it and try and do it next year, shall we? Right. 7 days. Huddersfield. See if we can win that one as well. Well, this has absolutely come out of nowhere. And I think you're already going to know what my answer is. Millwall have offered me an interview to become their new manager. Where are Millwall, you ask? 24th in the Championship. Currently, 3 points adrift of safety, and that's with Portsmouth. And they do have that game in hand as well. Why would I? Genuinely, why would I? There's no reason why I would take this job whatsoever. And that's no disrespect to any Millwall fans out there. But it just doesn't make any sense. We are currently fighting for a playoff place. They are currently fighting to make sure they don't get relegated. It makes no sense whatsoever. They're a bigger club. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. They're a bigger club. They're a 3-star club. We're a 2.5-star club. We'll probably be a 3-star club by the end of this season or next, if we're being honest with how we've done. But there's absolutely no reason for me at all to even consider leaving Tranmere for them. None whatsoever. So I'm going to decline. At the moment, there's not even a case for me to leave for another Championship club. Unless it was top of the Championship, Nottingham Forest. Like, let's say, for some reason, if Burnley don't get promoted, or if Fulham make a late push, or Norwich make a late push, and they offered me a job, I might consider that, because they will have more financial backing. Even Swansea, maybe. But what's the point? What genuinely is the point? I would potentially even consider one of the relegated teams, whoever comes down. But not bottom of the table that we're currently in. No. Let's just... Nah. Here we are, I'm ready for the game against 10th place Huddersfield in the Championship, and this is the 11 we are going to be using. It's Bergstrom in goal, Lyons, Foster, Barnes, Pollock and Penny in defence, Benson, McAllister, Appiah-Forson and Hansen Aaron in the midfield with Lee and Emerson up front. Mostly unchanged. We brought Penny in, we brought Appiah-Forson in. They're the big changes. We have also got Amari Benjamin back on the bench as well. So let's see whether we can get another 3 points. That would be lovely. That would be very lovely indeed. Some good news. We are apparently, officially, an established Championship team. We've had the thing to say that we've done that, well, I think it must be several years in advance. We couldn't have been wanting to do it in time for next season. That would be utter insane. Utter insane. Utter insanity. Can't get my words right today. It would be utter insanity to think that we could have done it by next season. It's even crazier to think that we've done it this season. Also, our chairman, or head of the board, one of the two, apparently he's stepping back to be part-time. So, how that affects us going forward, I don't really know. I'm intrigued to see. What a save that is from Bergstrom. Hits the post and he just... Did you see that? That was a thing of beauty. I can't be bothered to edit it, probably. Future Stu might change his mind. But yeah, go back and watch that save. That was incredible stuff. Matt Penny's having a shocker at the moment. The wing-backs actually are struggling, but we are giving them a bit of a game. We are really like bashing the door down. But at the moment, the highlights are theirs. Now, Dixon in their starting lineup on loan from Liverpool is actually one of the first players we've come up against, like we've actually faced, to be down as a wonder kid. So I've put him on the shortlist, because of course I have. Zach Emerson's through here. And can Zach Emerson score? No. No, he can't. Because that is him pretty much for the second half of this season. He has been a little bit, not atrocious, but he's been a big lumbering forward. He's always been a big lumbering forward, but he's been a big lumbering forward who can put the ball in the back of the net normally. And at the moment, he's a big lumbering forward who can put the ball in the back of the net sometimes, just not as often as he has done. I mean, to be fair, he has stepped up this season. The fact he's got over 10 goals this season, I think is still very impressive. And that was some lovely teamwork there. That genuinely, I was just describing Zach Emerson as a big lumbering forward. If I've watched this correctly, it's a wonderful piece of play from the big man. I say big man, he's 6'1". I keep thinking he's a lot taller than he actually is. He's just got really good jumping reach, but his heading's not that good. Big ball forward to Lee, across the ground, puts it into Emerson. And Emerson, I mean that, to me, that's really skillful. He's kind of taken it and done a turn with it and carried the ball with him and laid it off to Hansen Aaron, who scores again. And he is in a really good, rich vein of form. He is definitely finishing the season. the season a lot more strongly. You can see where I was going with that. He's finishing the season a lot more strongly than he started it, and I'm really happy to see it. Very happy indeed. And it's half-time, and we do lead by a goal to nil. All things are right with the world as it stands. Brooklyn Lions Foster was involved in that move. Not really playing that well, though. We'll tell these lads as well that they need to step up their game. Tell them they weren't that bad. And we'll do the same with the Pyre Forsen, vice captain. Hopefully he can't get sent off today. That'd be nice if he didn't do that. And we'll just go again. Right, Penny with a free kick out wide. Goes to a Pyre Forsen. Let's see whether we can build on this and get a second goal early in the second half. That'd be lovely. Hanson Aaron goes a little bit wide. Going to try and force the ball into the box. Does so. And Zach Emerson actually tried to use the limited aerial ability he does have for an over 6-foot player and didn't get it done properly, and we end up giving possession away. But we do have a throw-in, which is nice. Right, Lions Foster into McAllister. Hanson Aaron, who really is at the root of everything good for us at the moment, goes for the shot, which was probably the worst thing to do. Pyre Forsen now goes for a worldie. It just ricochets in there. I was hoping it might get deflected in. It doesn't. McAllister now out wide, back to Lions Foster, who we got the ball from in the first place. Tries to get it in. It is looping up in the air. It's kind of pinballing in there everywhere, and it is Tommy Lee who does get another goal. Hopefully, his barren spell in front of goal, well, the second one he's had this season, is now over. He does score. I think he scored in the last game, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. I've actually forgotten. I'd love to say I've slept since then. It was 10 minutes ago, Stu. Probably remember who scored in the last game, but we do get the goal. That's the most important thing. 2-0. If you wanted to watch that highlight, I do apologise, but apparently I didn't want to watch it again. Right, let's get a third, shall we? Because we are playing rather splendidly. We've had a bit of a rough patch in recent times. I say rough patch. We've been in good form for a mid-table championship team. It's just I'm used to winning in this save, so it does feel like a rough patch. But we're going from having a patch like that you'd expect us to have, to going back to winning and playing well. And Hanson Aaron has gone and scored again. He is showing up for the cameras today. Normally, he is shy as anything other than one game recently. But 2 games in a row, he is looking pretty spectacular. I was genuinely thinking to myself, right, list of players who are not going to be here next season. He was on that list. But if he continues this towards the end of the season, he might just come back because he's getting in the right positions, finally. He is starting to look the part, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy indeed. He's starting to do the things that I really wanted Ozzy Robinson to do. I've had to discover what to do with Ozzy Robinson because he is more of a playmaker. He definitely isn't very good at carrying the ball. So we have to have his player instructions to kind of reflect that. So he has to get the ball and move it on. He has to get in the right position to receive the ball and then just move it on or have a shot. That's what you have to do with Ozzy Robinson. If you look at his stats, his dribbling is 7, so he's not carrying the ball anytime soon. But his technique, his passing, his flair is decent enough as well. His first touch is okay. You just need to get the ball to him so he can do something with it, other than run with it, and then everything is fine. So, what changes shall we make? Well, Penny's doing okay, actually. Benson's not having the best game either. He's a bit tired as well, so I'll bring Tommy Doyle in and give him 20 minutes. Pyre Forsen's doing okay. We'll bring in Jamie Shackleton, give him some football. Hanson Aaron's staying on. He's not going anywhere. Finley McAllister might come off at some point. But I think we'll rest Sam Barnes again, bring Ben Hockenhull on for some football, and we'll leave it at that. And then the last 10 minutes, we'll make the last couple of changes. Sounds like a plan to me. Let's see whether... Oh, don't concede a goal, boys. I really, really want another clean sheet. Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're winning the game. It's 3-0. But I really want a clean sheet. I'm really proud of us battering a team that is mostly associated to being in this league, actually. I'm really quite happy with how we've done, not just in this game, but the last game as well. We've looked really sluggish in a lot of the games. Even when we've got results, we've looked quite sluggish. This game up until this point, and the last game as well, we've looked every bit like we wanted to. And the run, I said a run, the clean sheets, I think we've had 3 in we would have had 3 in a row with this game, is over. Huddersfield do get one back. Tyler Roberts, who I think is their top goal scorer, does end up putting it in the back of the net. I am going to demand more from the boys because I'm a bit disappointed at that. However, take a 3-1 win. Sounds delightful. Right, Doyle, Hanson Aaron. I'd love him to get a hat-trick. It's not going to happen, but I'd love him to get a hat-trick. Right, Hockenhull now. Out wide to Lions Foster. Lions Foster looking for options. Going to try and just run down the wing here. He has got a little bit of support just behind him. He uses McAllister. Now into Doyle, the playmaker. He's going to try and find a pass. Just goes to Lions Foster instead. We're just passing it around, being patient. Big ball forward, looking for Zach Emerson, who really should do better than that. Really should do better. That is quite disappointing from a player who we just come to expect a bit more from. Right, Amari Benjamin is coming on. He's going to get some football. And Matt Penny, I think, is going to be the final change. We'll put line... Yeah, no, I'll tell you what. This is what we'll do. Vinny McAllister can go out to the right-back position, and we'll bring on Ozzy Robinson. And him and Jamie can move around. We'll put Ozzy where we want him to play. And we'll do that for the final 2 changes. Get those 2 players on. McAllister can go to right back. He can play there. We can do a decent job there. Let's just see the game out, shall we, boys? If we can get a 4th, I'll be really, really happy. We're not going to get a 4th. But it's fine. It's okay. And that puts us up to 3rd. 3rd place in the Championship in our first season. It can't stay like that, can it? I mean, that'd be utter insanity. 5 points off of seconds. I mean, we're not getting anywhere near Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have pretty much won the league at this point. I mean, they haven't. Technically, it's still doable, but no. Stop it. I'm not talking about that. Tranmere fans want permanent deal struck for Hanson Aaron. To be honest, at the moment, I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't be against that. He's starting to look like the player we want. I mean, it says it right there. It's 26 appearances. He's only scored 6. He's only assisted 1 in the league. But all of those have come, well, most of those have come recently. Like, look at his last, literally, it's his last 5 games. Like, he's got 2, 3, 4, 5 goal contributions in his last 5 games. And before that, he had a goal there, 1 a bit further back. He'd been trash. He'd been utter trash. But in this little period here, at a 7.5, a 6.5, a 7.5, a 7.7, and 9.3. I'd love to know what it says up here. Average rating, is this his last 13 out of 20? His average rating is a 7.2. So he's starting to pick things up, especially in this little period here. I mean, it'll say on here, actually, last 5 games, what's his average rating? 7.7 in his last 5. On his last 5 games, he's the best player in the league, probably. He's having a madness. He's having an absolute, utter madness. Right. Shall we have a look at when we'll be back? I actually think we might just come back for the end of the season. We've got 2 games left. The 2 games we've got left at the end of the season are against Millwall, who are, at the moment, rooted to the bottom of the table. I think they are anyway. Have they done anything about that? No. No, they haven't. They're rooted to the bottom of the table. And then Peterborough, who are currently 12th mid-table. So it's a bottom of the table side and a mid-table side. So they're 2 games we should be looking to get the wins of. Possibly even a win and a draw. Peterborough could throw a bit of a curveball at us, but it is at home. So I think we'll come just back for those games. So we'll play through the rest of the games, which includes Cardiff, Portsmouth, Borough, Stoke, Forest, Bristol City. It's a rough run of games, actually, when you stop and look at it. Cardiff for 22nd. They are having a bad season, to be fair. Portsmouth, 20th. So those 2 are easy. But then we get to this point. Middlesbrough, 5th place. Stoke City, 4th place. Nottingham Forest, top of the table. Bristol City, 6th in the table. Then we've got Millwall and Peterborough. So we've got 2, on paper, easy games when you look at the league. At the end of that period, we've got 2 relatively easy games in terms of one's near the bottom, one's mid-table, and then a horrible run of 4 teams who are in and around where we are. We've got this run here of direct competitors. Fingers crossed we can go past them and we can do the job. But until then, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please remember to leave a like on there for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Football Manager content coming in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.